Hi folks, welcome to your mwis Easter planner. This updated on Friday the 31st of March. We'll have a look through the next week to 10 days, and it is an improving story as we go into the start of April, with high pressure likely to be in the forecast more of the time, so drier conditions with some sunshine as well. A bit of rain can't be ruled out, or a few showers into the middle of the upcoming week. Temperature-wise, a bit of uncertainty, fairly mild overall, but the absolute temperatures toward the Easter weekend open to some question at this stage. Could be some chilly nights in the forecast. Looking at the general pressure pattern over the next couple of weeks, and this is the situation through the 7 days from the 3rd to the 10th of April, and the pinker colours on this chart indicate the presence of higher pressure that is likely to exist around Scandinavia, and we're also influenced by that high as well broadly through this period. The bluer colours suggesting lower than average pressure, and that's out over the Atlantic. So weather systems to the west of us are likely to be held at bay over the Atlantic, and some fronts that maybe occasionally come in would be fairly weak. So overall, a reasonable looking weather story for a decent amount of dry weather through that time. The airflow coming in as an east or a southeasterly, which may be cool if it's had its origins further out to the east of Europe, but if it draws in something a bit more from the Mediterranean, then something a bit warmer may get in there as well. The suggestion for the middle part of April would be that high pressure stays generally towards the north and lower pressure is away toward the south. So we'd still be looking at more of an east or a southeasterly type of weather pattern across the British Isles, with dry conditions prevailing across many northern regions, maybe just something a bit more mixed trying to get in further towards the south. And temperatures maybe average or a little bit milder. Again, will just depend on the source of the air that is dragged into the mix through this time. Always with the risk of some frost overnight if we do get some clear nights under these fair springtime weather patterns. Now, through the winter, we've looked at these charts, which is the freezing level, and this gives you the suggestion for where we would drop to 0 Celsius or below on the mountains, and also that indication of where we'd expect some frozen terrain. Let's have a look at the current situation then, and this is through into Saturday, and we've got some colder air that's being drawn in from the east at this stage, and we're seeing a freezing level even down below around 800 metres across eastern Scotland, and broadly we're expecting the higher summits around 900 to 1,000 metres upwards to be near or just below freezing through the day. The west coast of Scotland is slightly less cold. That situation will continue overnight and into Sunday, with the eastern areas seeing the coldest of the air temperatures. For Sunday daytime, we'd expect again some of those eastern summits in Scotland from around 800 metres to 1,000 metres to be near to freezing point, but further west you'd be looking in that range 1,000 to 1,200 metres before we find 0 Celsius. Still then, the expectation of finding some frozen terrain, some consolidated snow patches that exist across those higher tops from the winter season, and still quite close to freezing point on the highest summits in England and Wales, but generally lifting a few degrees above during the daytime with some sunshine. Into the start of the new week, and just notice what happens overnight and into Monday, we will see that freezing level drop much lower, which indicates a likelihood of frost into the valleys across England and Wales at least, and maybe a few Scottish glens as well to start Monday morning. But once we get into the daytime, that freezing level lifts markedly, and it really is only maybe the very highest summits that would be close to freezing point, a few pockets here on the chart showing around 1,400 metres or a little bit lower. Generally then, Monday daytime, you'd expect even the highest summits to lift above freezing point. Overnight into Tuesday, again, the risk of some frost across England and Wales and maybe a few pockets in Scotland, and the daytime again is above freezing point towards the high tops. Through the middle of the week, a bit more cloud cover comes in, so lower risk of frost overnight into Wednesday, and the daytime would be a mild one. Looking at the synoptic charts for the next few days, and Saturday this weekend has high pressure away to the northeast and the southwest, and areas of low pressure just still nearby. The low that is across Europe is the system that has been around during Friday, and the remnants of that still enough to produce some patchy rain and even a few snow flurries with that chillier air across some eastern hills from the Pennines northwards through the daytime on Saturday. Quite a chilly breeze across England and Wales, mostly light winds for the Highlands, and some brighter spells that will come through, with just a bit of patchy rain possible around some western coastal regions, and possibly a few showers just coming in from the east as we go onwards through the day as well. Some central and northern parts of the Highlands then, I think, faring the best for dry and bright conditions. Sunday sees high pressure extend a bit more broadly across the country, and the remnants of one or two local showers possible in the north, with some areas of cloud and mist and fog around first thing in the morning, but that lifting and breaking and coming through with a fine day with some sunshine breaking through and mostly light winds across all areas, and those temperatures are still a little bit on the cool side in the morning, but feeling more pleasant in some sunshine that develops into the afternoon. Monday looks to be another fine day as well, with high pressure still influencing the country, just moving toward the east and allowing the breeze to strengthen from the south with time, particularly towards more western coastal regions in Scotland, where it could become quite blustery as we go through into the afternoon. Some hazy high cloud maybe just coming in from the west ahead of those fronts over the Atlantic, but those are staying away most likely during all of the daytime. A good amount of sunshine coming through, then a few mist and fog patches and a few fragments of cloud around some hill slopes early in the day, but those will all thin and break. And temperatures will lift gradually. It'll still feel rather cool and only just above freezing point across the higher mountain tops, but in some strong early April sunshine will feel fairly pleasant. Now, those fronts which are out towards the west do weaken as they run into high pressure, which is still situated near and to the east of us on Tuesday. So, just a weak front passing northwest Scotland, giving some local patchy rain and drizzle, and some low cloud which may well shroud these western coastal areas for a good part of the day. A bit of patchy cloud could also lap on to some western coastal areas in England and Wales. The general wind flow is a south to southwesterly, quite breezy in places across Scotland, fairly light winds further toward the south. For many, it's still a dry day. The best of some brightness then is across more eastern regions, and much of England and Wales could actually still see a good amount of bright and sunny weather. Another fairly weak front is expected to move in from the Atlantic on Wednesday, and that could just give a more broadly damp day across western Scotland and maybe some patchy rain extending in with time to western England and Wales. Small amounts on this. We're still generally quite close to high pressure, so it's a weak feature, but western Scotland could become rather persistently damp. Brighter and drier further east you go across the Highlands, and the breeze from the southwest strongest towards the northwest Highlands, where it could be a rather windy day. Further south, brighter with some hazy sunshine. Naturally, there is some uncertainty as we go further forwards, but the idea that high pressure is expected to build back in across the country as we go towards the Easter weekend, maybe some residual bits of patchy rain and showers around on Thursday, but by Good Friday that high is back around, and that's expected to stay into the start of the weekend as well. Just watching the progress of low pressure over the Atlantic, but most model indications would keep that away over the open ocean. We'd be drawing in that airflow more from the southeast, which could well mean that northern and northwestern parts of Scotland would fare the best in terms of temperatures, with some sheltered spots seeing some pleasantly mild springtime temperatures, say summit temperatures up to around 6 to 8 Celsius possibly, whereas it could be that England and Wales draw in something a bit cooler on an east or a southeasterly coming in from the North Sea. So we're just going to watch those temperatures at this stage, but overall it looks as though some fair weather will take us into the beginning of the Easter weekend at least. We'll keep up to date with all of those developments through the week ahead. For today, that is your Easter planner. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.